I mean, saying, try to be compassionate when other people are suffering, but to actually try, that's it's easy in comparison. Almost it seems like a puzzle. What does it mean? Experience problems with compassion. I mean, we can also say, one very typical approach, as we know in the Mahayana teachings, we're really trying to grow our marvelous capacity for compassion, which implies we've done a lot of work before that on learning to develop our own qualities, lessening our attachment, lessening our anger, lessening our depression and confusion, which is, a bird needs two wings, and that's the wisdom wing. But here, the compassion wing, the idea of even transforming, they talk about transforming problems. For example, Lama Zopa would say, we need to learn to like problems like we like ice cream. But my feeling is that's easy. Seeing things as good, seeing problems as good, like your headache, thinking, okay, this is okay, I can handle this. This is easy. If we compare with this one, experience problems with compassion, this is another kettle of fish. It almost seems abstract. What does it mean? So I think we've got to analyze it, So it's hard to understand it actually, because I know the example of Lama Zopa is a good one. That he had a stroke in 2011 or something. And the people who were around him, he was in hospital first, and there's Catholic nuns, and he in the Catholic hospital, and then eventually, and then whatever, doing his rehabilitation. But everyone said that he was like ridiculously happy. And it seemed like almost he had this astonishing, he experienced this suffering. I mean, having a stroke is suffering, being paralyzed. It seemed to increase his compassion. So, I mean, that's hard to understand. What does it literally mean? All we can do is try to nut it out, It sounds wonderful, but why would having his own suffering increase his compassion? It seems an odd one, And of course, way ahead for most of us, way too advanced. I can't even begin to think like that. So first of all, he was ridiculously joyful. I mean, this is almost too weird. So we try and imagine, on the Bodhisattva path, this advanced spiritual practice that, of course, the Tibetans are expert at, it means as we progress, first of all, the first level of practice is learn to know our own minds well, to really see our own fears, our limitations, our depression, our anger, and our jealousy. And the reason to see these is not to feel guilty or bad or to blame ourselves, but is to see that these are why we suffer. This is hard for us. We tend to feel guilty. We don't like it being pointed out that I'm angry and depressed and jealous. We feel someone's pointing fingers at us. But the Buddhist approach is to realize that this is limiting us. Forget about the harm we do to others if you're angry. And this is hard for us to see, to really see that the anger and depression and anxiety and fears, they are what limit me. They are what cause me pain. So this first stage of practice, is to us to just recognize this, and as we lessen our neuroses and grow our goodness, the consequence again is that we become more content, we become more fulfilled, and inevitably, because we're removing the barriers that ego has constructed between me and others, we inevitably become closer to others. And we start to look in the world and we realize, oh my God, everybody's in the same boat. Look at the depressed people, look at the angry people, look at the jealous people. Now, yes, the angry and jealous people are harming others. That's the only thing we normally see. But because we've seen our own mind, we know that's what's caused me my pain. Now I can see that that's what's causing everybody their pain. This is a really crucial step to get to.